Chakib, thank you so much for being here.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you as well for inviting me, and it will be an honor to participate on the future podcast and everything. So, yeah, uh,
Shakib, maybe I'll start with like the most obvious question. You worked at EY,
yes,
director at Deloitte, director at KPMG,
yeah,
and you were in a program called RSDE or SR&ED. Can you
yeah.
explain to us what that is and
Okay,
maybe sum up your experience in all these big four consultancy firms?
okay. SR&ED in English is scientific research and experimental development. Okay. In French is RSCDE, which is Recherche scientifique et développement expérimental. Actually, the program is based on, it's federal and provincial. There are two parts, federal, and it's based on a law that was introduced in the 80s, actually, 1980, and it was based to encourage the industry to do research, actually, mainly. Okay, so what is about? Is about when you have like a company, if you are incorporated, for example, or registered, and you have salary or employee, and you work, for example, in a field like IT, for example, you develop wise website, application, and everything, uh, and and you have like some issue, you have some project where you encountered like some uncertainty or some issues. So when you have some sort of project, you have to you have to deal with the different ways to develop and everything. And this is actually the heart of the program. The program is about uncertainty and the project that are wasting time, because the main of the project is that some company waste time on developing, so the government give them back some money to encourage them. And also it enhance the level of technology, because when people do love project in research, the level of Canada in general will be high, and and this is the purpose. Actually, how it works, when I was working with the EY and KPMG and Deloitte, I was a consultant, like manager, and I was doing the same work, but for EY and Deloitte. I was, the main work is meeting the. Actually, what I was not doing is signing the agreement and everything, because this part was done by the partners in EY and everything. So they make the deal, they sign the contract, they have once the contract is signed, the consultant start working with the people. Actually, we meet with the developers, and we do like interview about technical project, and we do training as well. We explain the criteria. There are three aspects in the criteria. There is uncertainty, the work done, and the advancement, technological advancement. So for the uncertainty, actually, it should be like something that, is not really new, but something, it's not about innovation and something new. It's about, the technology that is not um, letting us doing what we want, and is limited in certain way. And then actually when we start working on overcoming those limitations, we should use like scientific method. Scientific, like between I mean, it's not really scientific, because in IT it's like try and error, I would say.
Mm.
But for CRA we should not say try. There is wording, actually there is wording with CRA, when actually we should like use different way to develop the solution. Actually, this is about the criteria. The work done is about hypothesis and advancement. We have two parts. We have the part that we do advancement for our project, for our application, and we do also advancement for our knowledge, actually. the team has learned something, in IT and everything. So the two parts are important for us. So for those are the criteria, and there is financial aspect. The financial aspect, actually, when I was working with EY and Deloitte, was done by other people, because there are a profile of financial insured in SR&ED. So when I was working for the company, I was only technical, but I learned a lot of the financial I was doing sometimes and everything. So it was with EY, Deloitte, and KPMG. And actually, what happens is that for the financial, we can claim the salary and the subcontractor, and and we have a credit. Actually, you can see on my website, you can find all the explication. But also, I would say you can have back almost 65% of your expenses. And the expenses include salary, subcontractor, in some cases material, and this kind of expenses. Okay.
So, Shakib, this so that I can fully understand,
Yeah.
these projects that you work on, are they always practical project, or sometimes they're just theoretical and never get applied? Because sometimes with research, uh, it's difficult to
Yeah.
determine how this value is going to translate into something real for the company.
Yeah. Actually, you touch a good point. Actually, not all the projects are eligible. There are some projects, but our work is just discriminate between the eligible and not eligible. And our work is to educate the people the way that they claim the eligible project. So we are the guarant of eligibility, but not 100%, because there are gray zone. Because when I say we do the shred, we collect the technical field, there is always a risk that the claim or the application will be audited by the CRA, actually, mainly. Because there is like CRA, is Canada Revenue Agency. Sorry for the acronym. So the CRA is a Canada Revenue Agency. Canada Revenue Agency could do audit, because actually the work is is important. That point I didn't explain it. Is that our work go with the accountant. Actually, we submit the SR&ED part with the accountant of the company, with the tax. When the company do their tax, for example, with the accountant, we should submit with the accountant with the tax, because it's related to the tax. And there is one important aspect to know, is that when you have, for example, a credit of 100K, for example, from the CRA, if you owe taxes like 40K, they accept the 100K, but they give you a check of 60K. They took so this is important to know. And actually, our fees, when I was with the company, or now, our fees is based on the credit, not on the check that you receive. So this is important aspect as well. So yeah, for with EY, actually, I will make it simple. With EY and Deloitte and KPMG, I was technical, like manager. I was doing the financial, but not that much. Like I was like just validating the numbers sometimes. When I started my company, actually, do you have a question for my consultancy with the EY?
Yeah, I mean, there's your company, if I understand correctly, is allowing companies to understand whether or not their projects are eligible and or how to navigate the system to get credit from the government.
Yeah, but more than that, actually, I will explain. For example,
Okay.
for my company. Yeah, actually, what we did, actually, actually the main advantage is that a lot of company didn't know about it. Understand? This is a big
They
plus
didn't
for
know
us.
they could get credit from the government.
Yeah, they didn't know. The most of them, even the program exists in 80s, 50 years or 60 years. lot of company they didn't. Mostly the new company, the startup. Understand? So we work actually with startup. We work a lot with startup. So when there are some company, I approach the company by LinkedIn or by I do like by references. And when I start, I just do like a presentation, and then I do training for the developers with the criteria, and then when the contract is signed, we start the work. The work mainly we do interview, we collect the financial information with the accountant, salary, the subcontractor, and we do a technical report. Technical report, there are three parts, as I said: uncertainty, work done, and advancement. And once we have the technical report, they're like back and forward between me and the developers, and it takes like almost 1 month. Sometimes depends on the companies, 1 or 2 months, because we do like the interview, we write draft with question, we send to the developers, and they answer the question, we complete, and then and we till we have all the criteria, and also the eligibility, set. It takes like 1 or 2 months, I would say.
So since it's been going on for 50 years, and like you said, a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah,
If someone's already started a project, can they
yeah.
still claim or do they have to claim before starting?
Actually, we have like the timeline is important. It's a good question. Actually, if your end year is, for example, 31st December 2024,
Mhm.
the last December,
Yeah.
you have like 6 months, first 6 months till 30 June to submit your application with the tax. And you
Mm.
have also, if you miss the 6 months, you have 18 months. So you have till June 2026
Okay, 18 months to what? To claim on
to
projects
claim.
you've
Yeah,
already done?
yeah, to claim that project actually. Yeah, to include the SR&ED with your accountant actually. If we do it in the 6 months, we say we submit normal. If we do it in the 18 months, we miss the 6 months, we say it's amended. We amend the claim actually. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay.
I'm actually curious about a point. Is it only high-tech companies that can claim, or can it be various industries?
Actually, not very high. Not it should not be IBM or Microsoft or any company that do like development. For example, company they do like e-marketing or something. They do SEO or something. Uh, they can get the credit as well. And our work is that push the limit. Not that
Mm.
much actually. We stay on the criteria, but actually with the criteria we can go. But also not any project is eligible. Some projects, for example, in commerce and other stuff, administration project, in IT administration, when for the servers and everything, this like hardware things, it's rare when we submit project like this. Understand?
Mm.
So
Yeah, and I'm curious, like if companies don't really know about this and you're just going to them, are you getting paid even if they don't end up getting the credit, or is it
no,
only if they get the credit?
yeah. Actually, the thing is that win-win formula. Actually,
Okay.
I am paid when they get the credit. If they don't get, I don't get paid.
So you're very motivated to get them the
Yeah,
credit.
really. That's it. Because there are different steps. If it's not accepted, there is an audit. An audit, we can also do the audit and everything. Sometimes it's rare. I just actually do fixed fees. and this for particular, project,
Mm.
and if the project is accepted or not, I get paid because it's based on a hourly rate.
Okay. So I want to ask you something. You've been running your own company now for years.
Mm.
What has been the most difficult part? Because you were comfortable inside a big institution, EY, Deloitte. What has been so difficult in running your own business?
Yeah, actually, just because we are in particular, session. When I started company, I had a big issue. Actually, my mother passed away in 2016 in March, and
Okay.
I was fired by KPMG.
At the same time?
Yeah, but not the same time, because in this period I was not like I was not fired like actually I went from there, but for my own it was because there was particular period they hired a new senior manager there,
Mm,
and this new senior manager uh, they he just take with him some old employee from from other company, and like the organization changed, and they actually I was manager with KPMG, and I was to be a senior manager. And then when they come, the new senior manager that come, they changed the mind. They said we will wait, and then they start playing and everything.
mm,
Anyways, this was like a period like very not good for me. So then I just decided to quit. I quit KPMG, and also it was like a deal with us between us. They give me like a small package, and I started working. Actually, what it helped me is it was that three clients from EY, they followed me. I just contact them, and they said yes because they liked my work and everything. So from there it started, and because I just told you this history because this was really motivating me.
mm.
Being in a period like I didn't have like thanks God I didn't have burnout or something, but I was in the limit of the burnout.
Mm.
And this was a really motivated for me. This was like something big. And when I started with three clients. I said three clients, like
Yeah.
and then now I am with like almost 30 clients.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, and now I started alone. Now I have my wife also working with me. She's shred manager, and I use also subcontractor for my company. Like I use some subcontractor when there are some project in mechanic or in other stuff. I use subcontractor,
Mm.
but I don't have. I have the only employee that I have is my wife and me, and I use also my daughter. you know,
Mm.
because she's dentistry. When I had some, medical or pharmaceutical companies, so I used my daughter when she was at the university.
Mm.
So those are the tools, that I that I
I mean,
use.
I guess the question, Shakib, how does it feel to work with your wife? So you're with her professionally and personally. Is that
My
great?
wife. This is like the particular person. My wife was my binom in the university. We did our university together. And when I met her, I was 18 and she was 18. I was 19 and she was 18. So we
Mm.
are almost babies when we met.
Yeah.
So we know each other, and we actually we did our final project at the university together. And after that, she worked elsewhere, and I worked elsewhere. But finally, in 2016, I just, put her with me because she's an IT engineer, actually. We did,
Okay.
yeah, like me, actually. Yeah. And working with her is, sometimes she helped me on some reports. Sometimes she helped me with payment, actually. Sometimes she helped me with finance part on.
Mm.
and these kind of things, you know.
True love story, I guess.
Thank you.
Shakib, I will end with this.
Yeah,
For for companies that are just starting out, or companies that are never even thought about getting paid by the government or getting any government payback for their projects, can you tell us what are the criterias that you look for in companies? What are the kind of projects that companies are doing that should approach you? Who are you looking for, and who can you help? Give us the ideal customer.
yeah. The ideal customer is a company with 2, 3 people developing web application, or you know, any other applications in SEO, or any for example, there are a lot of startup in EA, you know, artificial intelligence, and those company are good for me. Like mainly the startup, and you know, and what is important is that they have salaries. If they don't have salaries, actually, because some consultant, they just open a company and they don't take salaries. They take like a bonus or something, you know. This is not eligible actually for the shred. It should be salary declared with the, you know, some aspect. So company with 3 people or more the more is you know, is also key. But anyways, if there are 3 or 4 company, that's good as well, and based on salaries and subcontractors, and that's it. And
Okay, thank you so much for doing this. I really
yeah,
enjoyed our conversation.
yeah, you're welcome. So anytime you can invite me. So no problem. Okay.
Awesome. Thank
Thank-
you.
Bye.